What's up, everybody? Damon here with Alec Hollandale. We're out here at FD Texas the day after. What's up, brother? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. A little hot, a little humid.
It's a little hot for sure.
We got a good turnout. There's a lot of people out here, and it's been a good show so far. And I think we got comp about to start here in about 20 minutes.
Yep, Alec's an FD driver. We all know that. He's a badass driver, super awesome personality. I'm really appreciative that he's taking the time out of his day to actually talk to me about some video games here. Speaking of video games, this is Lone Star Seto, so we're talking about drifting and we're talking about video games. And Alec, now you spent some time on a Seto course of drifting, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How many hours would you say you have on it? Do you look at your Steam number? Do you know how many hours you have on a gaming?
I don't. I used to, and I think the first few days, or the first week, I had like 15 hours in.
Right on.
You know, and I play probably 2 to 3 hours a day.
For real?
Yeah, yeah. And
wow.
I don't get online a lot. It's mainly just trying to hone my own skills. What I try to do is just focus on my feet work a lot.
Right on.
Because I feel like bringing your left leg over to the left foot brake and kind of hovering it there. Just small stuff that you don't really get to do or think about while you're on track. Because as you know, everything happens so fast. This is a reaction time sport. And like what we were talking about earlier, if you can make it a muscle memory, then you can really use that. And it's like riding a bike. You don't have to think about it. Now you're just reacting to what's happening. And it is a little bit of an upfront cost to build a PC, to get the whole setup, and especially if you want to do it right. But if you think about it in the long term, that's maybe one event or one weekend of this Pro-Am driving spent on a setup that you can use for years.
Yeah, so true. Speaking of setups, what's your rig like?
So I run the Fanatec full steering wheel, pedals, and then Hydro e-brake.
Yeah, the Fanatec e-brake?
Yeah.
Cool, and shifter and all that, obviously.
Full sequential, or it can go H pattern.
Gotcha.
And then I have the pedals that I think is the V3 that are raised.
Inverted or whatever? Yeah, right on. Yeah, those are good.
The V2.5 steering wheel, so it's the belt driven, just real smooth. It gives you a lot of force feedback, and like especially in understeer situations.
Yeah.
Which for me, it helps you be able to pull it out very easy, very fluid.
Yeah.
And other than that, it's just a lot of feet work, and I also use Oculus Rift, which.
Okay, you're on Oculus?
Yeah. For me, I like being able to look around in the car, just look where I want to go. And that was a great investment for me, spending. It is a little bit more, but for me, if you don't get sick, it was worth it.
Yeah, and honestly, the money, I think, when you go to VR from single monitor is in the PC. Because you have to have a pretty good PC to actually run the Oculus. I mean, I picked up my Oculus on Craigslist and it's still working for $300, which, I mean, that's just a little bit more than a decent single monitor, but you've got to kind of beef up your PC a little bit. And I will tell you guys, like, if you've ever wanted to do like video editing or pictures, or you work on a computer, like, it's a great excuse to get a better computer, because not only can you sim with it, but you can also use it for other things as well. So,
and that's like with Oculus, like I played this game called Onward. It feels like Call of Duty, but you're literally walking around.
It's a shooter game?
Yeah.
Cool.
And you actually have to hold the gun with the little handles and everything and aim. And
do you run into walls and stuff like me?
I've accidentally hit my dog. I've accidentally nailed my TV. I've tripped over things, almost fell down my stairs.
Yeah.
But it's all worth it.
Do you have that like a 3D parameter field set up?
Yeah.
That thing's a trip. Like I think only if you've used Oculus, I don't know what Vive does, but like you have this like 3-dimensional kind of like laser grid that if you get too close to a wall or a chair that you've marked with the Oculus, this like really cool laser grid,
screen.
And then you stick your arm through it and you're like looking at your arm on the other side of the wall. It's pretty cool.
But they don't show you when your dogs are walking by.
No, they don't. They don't. I did a video where I parked my RX-7 up at the top of Drift Playground and got out of the car and stood in the middle of the road and told everybody to come like at me.
That's cool.
Dude, it tripped me out.
I threw it reversing, sorry.
Crazy. That's crazy. But then as I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. You can like walk around, do a walk around on your car and like see all the detail of these cars. Yeah. As I was walking around, I planted right into my rig and I fell and like almost dislocated my shoulder. I can like do a walk around on my car and check. Oh! because I wiped out so bad.
My first time playing the Oculus, I downloaded this space game, and basically you're climbing through this satellite, and you come out of this satellite, and you're kind of upside down, but obviously you're standing up, so you're not really upside down. And you're like climbing up, man. I was like falling all over the place, like because you could see the Earth, and it looks like you're not standing on anything, and it's just, it really makes you feel like you're in a whole nother sense of reality.
Yeah.
And it actually just adds that just extra little bit of excitement to the gaming.
Yeah.
You know?
What are your thoughts on using your eyes and driving and how it connects, and the reason somebody might want to get an Oculus over a single monitor?
Wherever you look is where you go, and it is a weird sense because sometimes you're like, I don't know how I looked at that clipping point and made it from where I was at to here, but it's your body knows what your car needs to do whenever you're looking, and kind of just let it do its thing.
Yeah.
You know, and for Oculus, for me, if I look to my left and I'm in a deep tandem and I throw a big entry, I don't want to be looking at a computer screen and just kind of seeing a flat motion across the whole thing.
Yeah.
And the Oculus,
or be looking somewhere and your clipping point's over here, and like,
And then it's just an awkward sense of viewing because your screen's always looking forward, but you're trying to look to the left. Where Oculus, it's following your eyes, and it just, for me, it makes it actually feel real.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And the Fanatec setup and everything like that makes a big difference.
Did you get nauseous or anything like that when you first tried the Oculus? You were pretty good to go right off the bat?
Thankfully, I've never gotten motion sickness. I've always been pretty good about that.
Yeah.
So I can play Oculus. Only thing, the strap gives me a little bit of headache after like 2 hours of playing. But I believe they do make some aftermarket straps and bands.
Yeah, they make all kinds of cool stuff nowadays for them. I think with the Oculus, two things. If you can't afford it, still get a sim, keep driving. But if you can possibly get an Oculus and you're trying to figure out the budget of it, like Alex said, the amount of seat time and free tires and experience and practice you get pays for itself so fast. I don't know, I've probably gone through like $1 million in tires in the sim. And so spending maybe an extra $1,000 on the rig to get an extra $1 million worth of tires experience, like it pays for itself super fast. And also, if you go to a friend's house and put on his VR and you've never simmed and you put on VR for the first time and you get a little woozy and you're like, I can't do this. Dude, I was the same way. Suck it up a little bit. You're gonna have to make a commitment that you're going to do it and take a week or two to get adjusted to it, and you will adjust to it and it'll be so much better. So just know if you get queasy that first time, it's all good. Just do it anyway.
I've met a lot of people with their first time, they get a little bit wheezy, a little bit just nauseous feeling, and then after they sit down for a few minutes and try it again in another few hours, they slowly get progress.
You do,
getting used to it.
Yeah, because it's weird, because the world's moving, but your body's staying still. It's like doing a little bit of a mind screw on you. You know what I mean?
But that also comes into play with the graphics card too.
Yeah,
if you have a
for
good
sure.
graphics card, then
makes it a little smoother. Yeah.
Right. You don't want to see the screen pixelated or anything like that.
Yeah, all choppy. That's weird. Totally weird.
Or if it ever glitches, I've had it glitch on me. It's like the whole car shakes, and I'm just like, you gotta close my eyes for a second, regather myself.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just a weird sense that you're not expecting a glitch, and then just you feel like you're glitching yourself.
It's messed up. It's messed up.
It is.
Even in Oculus, if I drive off a cliff, I am closing my eyes because it will screw with you bad.
Immediate restart, and that's the good thing about a setup. That you can restart, or just simming in general. There's a restart button. You can change your setups with a click of 2 buttons. You know, there's almost endless opportunities, and like a game with Assetto or Forza.
Do you play Forza too?
Right, I do.
Do you think that those skills and muscle memory movements are relatable to real life drifting as well?
I believe the mentality of knowing that you have to stay high in the RPM, you have to be committed in drifting, and you just really have to go for it. And I think a lot of people in the beginning of drifting are very hesitant. They're very just scared, and it's weird being out of control but in control at the same time. You know, you almost have to switch that flip the switch in your brain to really get used to, okay, this is fine. It's okay to be sideways.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like gaming gives you that extra sense of it's okay before you actually get into the car. So
right on.
That sense,
I've heard that from some like very educated people like yourself, so that's cool. Video games. Are you a gamer? Do you like? Did you play games when you were a kid growing up and stuff? Like, and what kind of games did you like the best? Shooters, car games? Like, I was always a car game guy. Never got into shooters. But what about you?
You know, I played games since I was 10 years old, and I used to have,
he still plays games. Let's be honest. We're talking about Assetto Corsa.
I play 2 or 3 hours a day. I definitely play some games.
It's experience. I'm practicing.
I can tell the sponsors I got to do what I got to do.
Yeah.
But when I started, I was a Call of Duty nerd. I just fell in love with Call of Duty. I was doing tournaments.
Were you? Right on.
Yeah, and I was actually pretty good. A lot of people thought I had modded controllers and stuff, and you know, I had a teammate. This is when I was doing jet ski racing.
You used to race jet skis?
Yeah.
Right on. That's a cool sport.
And it was cool, but it was too small. You know, now it's growing back up again, but drifting is just taking off like nothing else. So.
It's really growing quickly, for sure. Favorite video car game growing up? Did you play Need for Speed or Forza Horizon, or like, what's your favorite video game?
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah. But that was just because of the fun factor of Grand Theft Auto. Like I just used to, I love Grand Theft Auto and Saints Row. I don't know if y'all have
I haven't, no.
It's like the more raunchy version of Grand Theft Auto.
Nice. Yeah. Sounds fun. Sounds cool.
You should try it out. It's fun. But for just all-out driving, I've always been a Forza guy. I've never played Gran Turismo. I never really liked the physics of the game.
Yeah.
Everybody's different, but I grew up with Forza, Call of Duty, and Battlefield. And that was really it. Those were the 3 games I played. And
cool.
Now I have Assetto in my living room, and I play that mainly.
And keeps crazy busy with life, being a professional driver.
And that's another thing. I try to make time for playing games, because I know in reality it does help in my profession.
Yeah.
You know, and I believe that if anybody wants to take drifting seriously, it'll help you out too. So
super.
In my opinion, I think it's a win-win. It is a little bit more of an upfront cost than you probably initially want to spend. But once you have it, and there's only minor upgrades every year that you have to do, like graphics.
Yeah, if even every year, maybe every 2 years or so.
I'm not very technical with computers. I'm slowly learning.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
But it's nice to learn, because like what we're talking about earlier, technology is taking over, and it's going to be just continually to grow throughout the next few years.
Yeah. Lone Star Assetto, I think, is your username 118?
Yeah.
What's 118 from? Where did that come from?
So my racing number since I began racing was number 11.
Okay.
And whenever I came to Formula Drift, number 11 was taken by another driver. And so they're like, you can run number 11X or you can change your number. So my birthday's August 18th. So I just added an 8 at the end, ended up being a spiritual number, and I like the number. I haven't really ever seen anybody else with 118.
Right.
And 11's just always been my number, so I just added my birthday to the end of it.
Super cool, man. Super cool. And then, so he does a lot of practice just in the game itself on his own tracks in his own car. Do you, like for example, there is VDS TMS in Assetto Corsa, it's a mod track. Do you ever practice a track before you go to the track just to kind of like re-trigger those flicking points and transitions and stuff? Do you ever do that at all?
So I was playing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and I left Wednesday before to come to FD.
Yeah.
And every night I was playing Texas, and I was just trying to get the line down, and as soon as I get home from this event, I'm going to practice on Irwindale.
Cool.
And I know VDC just changed the layouts where it's a little bit longer, but I kind of like the layout, especially for online. So I think banks are a little bit more difficult on games just because the bumper flex isn't really there. So if you tap a wall, it sucks you in. But you get used to it. You know, it's just, you can't ride the walls like you can in real life, but you're still in a video game, and it's still not perfect, but it's damn close enough.
It is, yeah.
You know?
I was going to ask, what's your favorite track in Assetto Corsa? Do you have a favorite track?
Biker Nicky.
Biker Nicky?
Yeah.
Okay, I've never tried that.
It's
I don't know.
Biker Nicky or something like that.
It sounds cool. Yeah, beer. Yeah, I know which track you're talking about. And actually, I don't even know if I've ever heard somebody say it out loud. Favorite track, Biker Nicky. Favorite car? What's your favorite mod car?
You know, I like the DDP. I like the Chaser. It's just very fluid. It works.
The JZX 100.
Yeah, and it's very subtle. You know, it's not too fast. It's nice in the steering. I do have my own VDC car that Craig made. Right on. And it's a wild car. That thing handles great. It's a lot of fun, and it's very fast. So that car is very good if I'm trying to practice for FD. Right. I can get the timing more consistent and stuff like that.
Yeah, a little bit more angle, a little bit more power.
And I'll go to
more speed.
Yeah, and I'll use the DTP cars for feet work.
Okay.
So just trying to be real fluid with it, very smooth, and I like going to DDP tandem lobbies because everybody has the same setup almost.
Yeah.
So it's very consistent.
Do you put a custom alignment and stuff in yours? Do you adjust ride height or sway bars, or how deep do you get into your chassis setup on the DTP car?
Not too much. I just changed tire pressure, maybe a little bit of alignment, like camber change, a little bit of toe.
A little bit of toe, yeah, for sure.
And just work with tire pressure and then the gearing and rev limiter, and that's really it.
Gearing's a big one.
Yeah, gearing is a very big one in that